What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to the channel. If you saw my first video, it is the introduction to the Denali Novus reels. And now I'm going to break this one down and do the bearing upgrade on it. I've already done bearing upgrades on the other two, so I'm going to do these for you guys, show you what they are all about. So I'm going to slide this guy open here. First notice is I don't think these bearings are as good as like a Lew's. Just looking at the quality of the bearing and how they spin. Not a bad bearing. If you're just not gonna upgrade them, I'd probably just flush them. But they're definitely not gonna be as good as upgrading with the Boca Abex 7 ceramic hybrids. So these guys right here, I'm just gonna pop a seal off. Pop a seal. Pop a seal. Now you can leave the seals off. They are aluminum, rubber, but in humidity and heat, they kind of tend to swell. And they can press on the actual bearing race here. And then, excuse me, I'm gonna do a drop or two of oil. This is ZPI oil. I use this, or I use Duthlon's oil, or I use Boca's oil. Boca's oil is readily available for a great price. It's great oil for bearings, your reel, everything that you want to use. Lucas oil is too thick for your bearings, but it's great for your reel parts and everything in the reel. So I will kind of mix and match oils to certain applications. So on the first one here, we're gonna go with the spool. The spool is a 511-4, and it is a tapered spool pin. So you have a thin side and a thick side. Always want to push from the thin side. These pins actually come out really easy. You don't want to smash the pin in there too much. You just want to center it up so it's completely centered. Just a hair, I'm talking like. Okay. Should be good. And then this guy here. Gotta take this little plate off. There's a spring underneath it. Again, some of these designs for some of these reels are way over manufactured and make everything a little harder than they should be. And then side plate bearing is a 310-4. Set that guy back in. Spring. Make sure everything's centered up. Got these tweezers here just in case. Small parts everywhere. All right, so tighten this guy up. So those two are done. Now for this guy, you cannot just take this off and replace it. You have to take the entire reel apart, which is kind of annoying. If you just want to do a quick bearing upgrade, it's not that easy. So you have to take all this off, which again is not terrible. I've done it a million times, but becomes a little tedious if you're doing a bunch of reels. So you have a screw in the center here. You see it right there. screw up top. All right, so here's the inside of the reel. And I was actually kind of surprised how dry they are inside. It's actually pretty dry. I mean, you can really barely see any grease down in there. There's absolutely no grease on this gear, the main gear. Definitely looks like a Lew's gear with a Lew's drag plate and everything. Little grease on the worm gear, the drive gear, and there's barely any grease there. So I'm gonna do a couple things here for this customer. I am going to just add grease. I'm not even gonna worry about cleaning anything because they're literally brand new out of the box. I'm gonna add grease to where they should have it. I mean, there's like grease here, but that's not on the gear, so it's weird. But I guess when you're a factory and you got people doing 100 million of these to get them out, that's what happens. All right. So this guy has a clip inside. What they needed to do is have this clip on the outside because then you don't have to take the whole reel apart. And it makes it much easier to get this clip out when it's on the outside. There's the 3 done. Slide that guy back in. This guy can just bend out a little bit. So it catches, and then see if I can get this guy seated back in. Looks like he's good. All right, get this back together. All right, so side plate. Inside frame. All right, that guy's done. All right, tighten this guy back up. Now you just gotta have to reverse your steps. Let's put a little grease on the clicker here. Put the star back on. All right, get this guy on. Almost done here. Tighten her up. The handle plate everything on so it doesn't slide and rotate off. All right, let me do one more thing. We put a little oil here on the end of the worm gear. Put just a little bit of grease. All right. That guy seated back on. A little too loose, so tighten that up. And there you go. There is a bearing upgrade for a new Denali Novus reel. I'll do a little bit of oil on the sides here, but it should be good to go. There you go, guys. Have a good one.